Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule well. Peace and love, salutations and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. You Akim, and few Akwathim that believe in Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai with your whole heart, mind, body, and spirit, and who are waiting for these last and final prophecies to happen in the earth in the return of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, who's coming to redeem the elect of the nation of Israel, are those that are written in the book of life, that despite, all of the sorcery and enchantment and the deception of this devil, this old serpent that he's throwing at you, and trying to beguile you, the same way that he beguiled Eve, but are standing strong through the testimony of Yahweh Shai and will overcome through your faith in Yahweh Shai and keeping the commandments of Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai. Pentagon to mandate, C19, Beetlejuice, The Thing, the Machination, Maxine, Vanessa, many different names in which brothers are calling this thing by, because of this bullshit algorithm, that Esau has in their agenda to try to silence anyone that speaks against the thing that they're doing, that has a message, to give unto the hopeful elect, you hearers that will hear this message and who will beware concerning this thing that he's pushing. Pentagon to mandate C19, Vanessa, for all military personnel following FDA's full approval of the Pfizer shot. It says the Pentagon has says, it will update its own guidance on C19, Vanessa, mandating the JAB for all military personnel following the U.S. drug regulators' decision to fully approve the Pfizer vaccine. And I don't really need to read too much of this. It's pretty much the same rhetoric that they have been spewing out, for almost 2 years now, concerning this agenda, this conspiracy, this plotting that they're doing. And as you can see, all military personnel are going to have to receive the thing. And when the MOTB rolls around, they're going to do the same thing with the MOTB. And just reading this, as I was pondering on it, after sending it to brothers, what came to mind is that this is a way of proving that this is Rome all over again. In Rome, not only did they, brand slaves, but they branded their soldiers as well. And bear with me, Baba Kasha. There we go. They branded their soldiers as well. And if you're in the military, the majority of you individuals don't want to be punished for AWOLing, which is going to result, is not going to be a dishonorable discharge, but you're going to be court-martialed. And you're going to be brought before, certain judges. You're going to be court-martialed. You're going to lose all your benefits, and you're going to have to spend time in jail. And the average person don't want to go through those things. Some of them have families, or they have wives and children, and they don't want to lose their benefits or cause their family members to lose those benefits. So therefore, they're going to willingly accept this thing, this Vanessa. And when Esau rolls around the MOTB, which is an RFID chip and brain implant, they're going to do the same with that as well. So when you go into the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." So it doesn't matter if you're great in this nation, doesn't matter if you're small, Doesn't matter if you're rich, doesn't matter if you're poor, doesn't matter if you're free, doesn't matter if you're bond. All right, they're going to cause the whole earth and everyone that's in it except the elect. All right, because you won't be able to deceive the elect. You won't be able to get the elect to take it. Because eventually they're going to force you to take it. They're going to make it a mandate, which is making it a law. You're making it an ordinance. You're making it a decree. And it's an unrighteous decree. Isaiah, the 10th chapter, verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness, which they have prescribed. And I just want to see what this word decree means within the Hebrew, which the word is hakwak. And it says to cut out, to decree, inscribe, to set, engrave. So the government is going to pretty much, this is where you get that saying is always etched in stone. All right. So when the Most High Heavenly Father sent Yahushua, to give the law unto Moses, it was engraved in the stone. So it was the law engraved in the stone. Well, Esau thinks that he's the Most High Heavenly Father. So whatever he writes on a piece of paper, all right, he declares that as a decree, as a mandate that you're supposed to follow. And that's the reason why it tells you in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, that their strength is in their law. So whatever they say is a law and they write it down in paper, as long as they write it down in paper, it's a decree unto them, whether it's right or wrong. And they figure, well, hey, you better follow it, because if you don't, then you're going to be penalized. And why do they do it? To turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right of the poor of my people, that the widows may be a prey and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, Esau is trying to put the world in slavery, the whole world, even his own people. And if he's not good unto himself, how can you expect this man to be good unto you? That's the reason why the scripture speaks about the tender mercies of the wicked. It tells you in the book of Proverbs, the 12th chapter, verse 10, it says, a righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. So even any good that Esau does is still evil. It just is, some things may not be as evil as the rest of his evils, but it's all evil. Another scripture within the book of Sirach, the 14th chapter, and beginning at verse 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. The envious man hath a wicked eye, he turneth away his face and despiseth men. So the scriptures say when he do when he do good, he doeth it unwillingly. That was the point to gather from that. Even when he do good, he doeth it unwillingly. So ultimately, this thing or this agenda that he's pushing in the earth, there's no good to come from this. All right, it's all wicked and it's all for a purpose. And that purpose is for ascertaining a perpetual rulership in which he won't get. Because the scriptures speak that when he's about to fill his belly, that Yahweh shall rain the weapons of his war upon him. In another verse, it mentions that Yahweh shall rain his missiles upon him. So the point that I was going to make, and I was going to draw it from Matthew 24 and 24. It says, and there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch, if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. But you can't deceive the elect. So therefore, the elect isn't going to take your thing, even under the penalty of being put to death. All right, they'll take the beheading because they understand that Yahushua is the resurrection of the dead, which means that through their belief in Yahushua, all right, through their belief in the testimony, which I'm going to keep reading this as much as I can, the book of Revelation 12 and 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto death. So they're going to keep the testimony of Yahushua even unto death, understanding that they will live again and reign with Yahushua. Revelation 20:4. And I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hand, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. So I want to go to the word for not. All right, because it's speaking on the faithful witnesses, all right, that were held the testimony of Yahushua even unto death, and they overcame the beast through their death, all right, because they had faith in Yahushua unto death. Therefore, they're going to be partakers of the first resurrection. So they never received his mark. All right, when you go into the word for not, the word there is u, and it says no, not, indirect question. All right, it says an affirmative answer. Expecting an affirmative answer. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. So when you go down, it says no or not, long, nay, neither, never. They never received it. And by them not receiving it, guess what? Although they died, they still live, because it is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that has the ability to kill and to make alive. So he's going to make them alive. They're going to be the first ones on the chariot, and they have gotten the victory over the beast and over his image, even though in the sight of man they perish. Revelation 15:2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harp of Yahweh. And how did they get the victory? By holding on to the testimony of Yahushua. So you have some brothers that were in the military before, and you may have some that are in the military now, that watch. And if you be in the military, and you have a choice to make. Do you truly believe in Yahushua? And do you believe that you can overcome by him? Because if you do, then you're going to take whatever persecution or temptation comes your way. Because ultimately, you know that through your faith in Yahushua and the keeping of the testimony, that you're going to overcome. All right, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua can make a way for you, man, as long as you keep your faith. Reading on in Revelation 15, this is verse 3. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. So what this is describing is those that were alive unto the coming of Yahushua, as well as those that died and rose again in Yahushua. All right, they rose into the chariots. All right, into a new body. All right, because Esau killing you cannot prevent you. 1 Thessalonians 4:15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, by the word of Yahushua, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahushua shall not prevent them which are asleep. Because when you die in Yahushua, you're just sleeping until the time that he comes to wake you. The same way that he woke Lazarus and raised him from the dead. For Yahushua shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. And the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahushua in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahushua. So those that fell asleep, or died in Yahushua, they were raised. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, in verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of man, yet is their hope full of immortality, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself, as gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks amongst the stubble. That's speaking about spiritual powers, because they're going to receive a new glorified body, or a superhuman body that has superhuman capabilities. All right, like Superman. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord, Yahweh Shai, shall reign forever. So how can they judge the people if they're dead? How can they sit on the throne with Yahweh Shai judging if they be dead? That means that they have to be alive. So knowing this, and knowing that through your faith in Yahweh Shai, this is how you're going to overcome the beast in his image, all right, in his name. All right, this is how you're going to overcome, because when you go into, all right, the number of the beast, all right, because as I was saying, through the testimony of Yahweh Shai, through having faith in him and keeping his testimony, this is how you're going to overcome the image of the beast, the mark of the beast, the name of the beast, the number of his name. All right, which when you go into the number of his name, it helps you to identify what the mark of the beast would be. So this is Revelation 13 and 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. So when you go into the 636, all right, is Chi stigma, or Chi stigma. The Chi, which looks like an X. All right, the reason that the X is there is because an X crosses out something. And what they're trying to cross out is Yahweh Shai. They're trying to make it seem as if they're the form or the way or the door to salvation. They're trying to make it seem as if they're the way, the truth, and the life. All right, and that there's no salvation but through them. As Yahweh Shai said within John the 14th chapter, in verse 6, Yahweh Shai saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by me. So they're trying to make it seem as if there's no way to receive salvation but through them. And they're going to offer that salvation through their medical system, which brings us to the next symbol, all right, which is the Zai, because the Zai looks like the Asclepius, all right, which is a serpent. It looks like a serpent coiling, all right, because that serpent on the pole, which is the Asclepius, it represents the Asclepius, which Asclepion was the son of Apollos. All right, when you go back into Greek mythology, all right, and he was known for within Greek mythology for healing. All right, and that's the reason why the medical system, even going back to the Greek and Roman Empire, they use this symbol. So this right here shows you that we're in the Roman Empire all over again. And the last word is the stigma. All right, or the last symbol is a sign of stigma within the Greek. So when you go into the word for stigma, which in order to grab that, we got to go to the book of Galatians, or the 6th chapter and the 17th verse, which reads, From henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahweh Shai. And the marks that were put inside of Yahweh Shai were put inside of him by, thick nails that were nailed into him. So the act of penetrating something, or with a sharp object, is called a stigma. So the marks that were put inside of Yahweh Shai, the way that it was put in there, all right, it was put in there by thick nails. And that's the reason why Paul says, for I bear in my body the marks of Yahweh Shai. So when you go into that word for mark, the word there is stigma, and it says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their masters or commander branded and pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. The primary root, or Strong's definitions, the primary is stizo, which means to stick, an example, prick, a mark, incise, or punch for recognition of ownership. In the military now, they use dog tags, and certain parts of the military or the military branch that you go into, they might have a particular tattoo that you get to identify you to a certain unit. Well, the time is going to come where they're going to put chips inside of you. All right, brain chips, RFID chips, brain chips to help download schematics into your mind, maps, and to program you. And instead of briefing you, sitting you in a room to brief you on what your mission is, they'll just download the mission into your mind, so you already know the mission. They'll probably keep you up, from falling asleep so that you can finish your mission, give you the ability to have night vision. All right, give you the ability to operate, move faster. Which on the surface, it seems like it's good things, but then you ultimately become a slave. So at what point do you lose control and they continually have control? An article from the Veteran of Foreign Wars.org reads, it says, Roman and tribal markings in Western culture, tattoos and roots in the Roman Empire. Roman soldiers were tattooed with permanent dots, the mark of the SPQR, or Senatus Populus Romanus, and used as a means of identification and memberships in certain units. The Greek word stizon meant tattoo, and it evolved into the Latin word stigma, meaning a mark or brand. So that just came from a simple Google search, which there's other Google searches as well. Did Roman soldiers really have tattoos that said SPQR, or was that just something else? Roman soldiers branding tattoo. Did Roman legionaries have SPQR tattooed on them? Soldiers in the Roman Empire selection, training, duties, and rewards. So anyway, if you're a soldier within the U.S. military, now there's a decree for you to have the thing. There's no opting out unless you're ready to deal with the penalties of being court-martialed and thrown in jail. And that's the reason why ultimately you shouldn't even be joining in, because the time is going to come where you're going to have to fight against Yahushua anyway. So this is also one of the reasons of giving one of these things to your soldier. When the Lord does come, you can program them to fight against him. But there's no win in that battle at all. So with that, I truly hope that this lesson was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.